So, I had a build for y'all. The build is called Fuck That Guy Over There. Specifically, it required Octane War Rig, Hardlight, any automatic weapon for that matter, shield break charge. Those could be great. But then, yeah, it didn't turn out too well. Then I tried using Mask the Quiet One and have infinite overshields, and yeah, that didn't go well either. So after multiple trials and tribulations, I stumbled across a build I used to actually get through the Lightfall campaign. And that is with Path of Burning Steps, Teraba, believe it or not. And it actually tears through a lot of stuff. Maybe endgame worthy, maybe not. But it's still a lot of fun, and I thought I'd show it to you guys. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so let's get started here. Let's look at the exotic of choice today. And that is going to be the Path of Burning Steps. Now what this does is solar kills periodically grant you an escalating bonus in weapon damage. This is the most important part here, but for everything else, you are harder to slow, freeze, and stasis. When you break out, you take no damage in doing so, and you create a solar burst around you. So this is not really relevant. For us here, we're just worried about the solar final blows give you a bonus. And for those numbers, they are going to be... So in PvE, the percentages are ×1 is 20, or ×2 is 25, ×3 is 45, and that ×4 is 40. So it's an escalating bonus to 40% on the Path of Burning Steps. Why that's important is because we're going to be stacking this with Radiant and then these solar surges. So how are we going to do so, you may ask? Well, let's go over to our mod customization, shall we? So on our helmet, we have 2 harmonic siphons and a heavy ammo finder. On our gauntlets, we have heavy-handed and impact induction. On our chest piece, we have 2 charged up mods. On our legs here, we have 3 solar surges. And if I do recall, these solar times, I don't know what ×1 is, but I know that ×3 is at least 20% or like a little bit higher than that. And then on our class item, we have 2 time dilation mods and bomber mod. Now, why not 3 here is because the diminishing returns is quite drastic, and 2 is actually better than 3 if I recall, because I'm pretty sure it only goes up to 18 on ×3 as well as the second ×2. So there's no point in having 3 in the slot. Now, for the weapons of choice, I'm actually going to be running with the Teraba. And why Teraba is because it just has a massive damage increase when you get Ravenous Beast going. So, onto the subclass now. It's going to be very, very typical. We're going to be using a throwing hammer. We're going to be using healing grenades. I've been meaning to change off consecration, but it's going to be roaring flames. So keep that in mind. It is roaring flames. Soul Invictus, and then for fragments, it's going to be Ember of Searing in case we lose our hammer. Ember of Ashes for Scorch Stacks. Ember of Empyrean for the increased time for Radiant Restoration, and the Ember of Torches to become Radiant that way. Now, if you don't want these 2 mods, then you can switch one out for Ember of Tempering, so you can get a Fire Sprite for just getting weapon final blows. And if you don't want this, then you can get Ember of Mercy, so you can get Restoration that way. Either way works. I just choose these 2 mods just for recovery of hammer. Now, overall, I think this build is very good, and with all the damage stacking that we are doing, it is very fun. And so I'm actually going to go into the numbers real quick with the 3 times surges cap here, it's a 20 to 21% increase. And from further testing, I've gotten the numbers for all the buffs that I'm doing. And while testing, I figured out that the radiant buff actually does not work with all the damage stacking that is happening. So only the surges and the firewalker damage buff is needed with all the buffs for the total damage. And that total damage increase is actually a 3.44x or a 344% damage increase. And this is all with all the damage buffs, including Ravenous. Now take these numbers with a grain of salt. I probably got something wrong with these numbers. That I produced from Carl, but they're what I got, and that's what I'm going with. So that's all I really got for you guys today. The rest of the videos just give me some strike gameplay with a Callus mini tool, and just mix things up besides Teraba. Show you that Teraba's not needed in this build. And so with that, I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of the video.